Right, a day every Villa fan has dreaded for the last 2 or so months since the speculation of a move to Man City for Jack Grealish is basically imminent right now. Obviously, it's a video I personally didn't want to do, but you have to, I guess. I still think there's hope that he's going to stay, but as for my mate Ben here, he just thinks he's over. So if you are going to stick around, please subscribe to the channel. Get us to 400 subscribers. Something to be happy about. Like the video, comment what do you think about the situation, and yeah, let's get into the video. So if you have been living under a rock for the past few days, you're definitely going to know what's going on with Jack Grealish. The £100 million move to Man City looks sort of imminent. I'm not going to say it's happening because I'm one of them. I want to wait till Villa has come out and said, you know, this is what's happening and all that. But I still believe there is a chance of him staying. What do you think?
Well, you know, we were actually discussing this off camera. I know you're very adamant that this isn't happening. You're very adamant that there is a chance that he's going to potentially stay. Just so none of you do kill us, I'm on the side that it is happening. I think we all know it is happening. It has been pretty much confirmed that the contract is pretty much signed and the deal will probably be completed either as of recording today or tomorrow in the next 48 hours. And there's even talks he could be playing in the Community Shield against Chelsea on Saturday.
Bullshit.
Or Leicester, I believe, sorry. I've said this multiple times if you've been following our channel. I've always said Jack Grealish is a player that deserves to have the Champions League, deserves to have the trophies. He's a player that I've always said it's not going to be surprised whenever he does leave. And I still stick by that in the sense that it's not surprising to me that this is happening. It's a player that is probably one of the best, if not the best, talented English player in the game right now. And it shows considering the money that Manchester City are willing to spend on the player. However, I know we shouldn't. I know people like to say you shouldn't really turn against the guy considering what he's done. But let's be real here. This is Aston Villa Football Club, not Jack Grealish Football Club. And overall, I'm absolutely disappointed and angry. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. I could take this down a non-PG route. I'm going to try and stay professional. Simply put, it's an absolute disrespect to Aston Villa. You know, I believe it's on Aston Villa's part for overhyping the amount of he's an Aston Villa fanboy. This is all he's wanted. I think they've overdone that, especially in that home kit reveal this season. I thought that was a little bit like you shooting yourself in the foot if he does go. But it's an absolute shambles, I think. I know none of us wanted it to happen. I know we all would have liked Club Legends. I've actually tweeted this on on the Twitter page for the Pride of Villa. How are Aston Villa or any football clubs meant to have Club Legends when all that happens is your top 6 clubs, especially a club like Manchester City, are going to spend out 100 million and sign a player like Jack Grealish? Which sucks because for the money aspect, it doesn't mean that much to us because we are the third richest owners of the club. It's not like we don't have the money. We've spent 100 million for the past 2 seasons, and you know, considering the contract that we were offering him, money was never going to be an issue. We would have matched the wages.
I just wanted to mention, as you're on the topic, if you're not a supporter of Aston Villa and you are in the Premier League and you are in and amongst around like where we aren't a club who needs 100 million. Like, we're already getting decent players. I mean, Emily Buendia for around 36 million. Leon Bailey coming in for around 30 million. So we don't need the money. It's just, you know what I mean? We're the third richest club in the Premier League. I think that's all I can say about that.
No, but yeah, it's not a money thing. We would have matched his wages. I think it showed 200k a week just to stay with the Villa. But clearly that's not something that Jack Grealish should want. It's clear to him that it's playing at the top level, playing those Champions League, playing and winning those trophies. And so he clearly doesn't think that's possible with Aston Villa, which I think is completely disrespectful. You know, for a Villa fan, you don't do this. You don't turn your back on us, especially when we are the most exciting we've been in probably 10-15 years since 2006 under the Martin O'Neill era. And even then, they got Europa League 3 years in a row, playing against the likes of Inter Milan at Villa Park. You know, it's disrespectful. You're not really a Villa fan then. You wouldn't, you know what I mean? You just wouldn't do this. I know it sucks with you to do it in yourself, but if you were clearly adamant on this move, you wouldn't be a Villa fan. I also said this on my Twitter. Gabby Agbonlahor, as much as I don't think he's a club legend, just because really all he did was score goals against Birmingham City and the odd goal here and there. Apart from some interest from Arsenal, did he really leave? No. Was he the best player at the time? No. But he stayed. You know what I mean? No, however good or bad he was, he stayed. I think another thing you want to really consider is about Totti. You know, a guy that spent all his years with AS Roma, won only one trophy, but said that meant more to him than going to some other club to win 20, because that was his boyhood club, and if Jack Grealish really felt that, he would have done that. Because believe me when I speak for Nathan, when I speak for a lot of people here, an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup would have said so much more than some plastic trophies he's now going to win with Manchester City. It's really similar to Harry Kane and what was said about him. He would have won one trophy if it meant not having to join another team, because it would have showed him that there is ambition at Spurs, and that they could have won something. But simply put, I'm angry. You know, it's a player I just don't want him to leave, but he is, and it's that idea of the project's now gone. I don't see Europa League football in now 5 years. I see it now in 15 years now. It's going to take a very long time to get us back to it. I know we've got some new players coming in, some new players that we link with, and we will talk about that, I'm sure. But simply put, I do think that no matter how positive you want to try and paint this over, no matter how well you want to try and make this appear on the positive side, I think this is clearly a dark day for Aston Villa. And ultimately now it just puts us at an uncertain time where we're 10 days away from the start of the season at Watford.
So they offer a true Villa fan. I just wanted to go on to the positives about this, and I know right now it doesn't seem like there's many, but in my eyes, if this deal was to go through, because obviously it still hasn't been fully confirmed, it's £100 million for us to just spend openly.
Yeah.
You know, I can't see us just holding on to it, because obviously we've got the money anyway to buy these massive players. Personally, I think if we do get all that money, Ward-Prowse is basically a Villa player. Obviously, we have been looking at him the whole transfer window. A player I really would love to see. I mean, the set pieces from him are amazing. We've just brought in a set piece coach. I'm sorry I forgot his name. But, you know, there's some positivity there. Obviously, we are looking at lots of Axel Tuanzebe and Tammy Abraham to come in on a loan. But I think you could possibly have a buyout clause with both of them from the money you just bought from Grealish. But yeah, I mean, I know I'm here. I'm not mad or anything right now, because I can't admit it, because I haven't heard like any full confirmation that he is a City player. Obviously it can all change in a few days. Obviously me and Ben, if you haven't seen on our socials, will be going to the Seville game. It has been reported he might be playing.
Yeah, I just want to talk about that actually, because I know you're on about he might play for the Seville game. It's also actually been reported that he could even be ready for the Community Shield against Manchester City. So I'm also again on the opposite side to Nathan. I believe that he won't be at Villa Park on Saturday against Sevilla. I think it will potentially even be in the stands, at least for Manchester City's game. But I want to touch back on what you said about the positives though, because we do need to look at it from the positive aspect, and I think the best way we can look at it is look at Liverpool when they sold Coutinho. Now I know he wasn't playing as well as he wasn't a player that was really fan liked anymore, but they sold him for a lot of money. Liverpool would reinvest it, and ultimately I believe the season after that they would go on to win the Champions League and the Premier League, and really improve on that foundation. And I think for me it's hard to be positive about this because of the signings. I know Leon Bailey is a great sign. I've already said this in our video. I think if he really does crack on, he's potentially signed of the season.
Yeah.
I know Buendia, I'm a little bit mixed about him just because of how he did in the Premier League last season, but I do still think it's a good sign from what I've seen in pre-season. Ashley Young isn't somebody that's clearly here meant to excite players, but more so just to do his job, and he's definitely doing his job. But my issue is you can't sign a James Ward-Prowse without Jack Grealish. I feel you can't have that, because I don't understand why you'd sign him and not sign you'd sign him where Jack Grealish would get the fouls and James Ward-Prowse would take the free kick, essentially placing her hand there. I just don't see the mindset behind that. But on the positive aspect, there is a lot of money there to work with, even though it still really wasn't an issue. There's a lot of money. As sad as I am about Jack Grealish leaving, you know what I mean, I'm still a Villa fan. I'm still optimistic about signs. I do like Twanzebe as a person. I think if we are signed, it's got to be loaned to buy.
Yeah.
Because I just don't see the point in loaning him when you could just call up a youngster from our academy. Tammy Abraham would be an exciting signing. I don't know how you would really want to join without Jack Grealish, considering that partnership in 2018. Todd Cantwell, exciting prospect, but not really going to be solving that void. Yeah, not the void that Jack Grealish will be leaving. I think James Ward-Prowse would change some stuff, but I think it's just one of those I just don't see happening unless it's for 50 million. Yeah, as a positive aspect, you know what I mean, we're all Villa fans. I know over time we're all going to get over this, and eventually we are going to see lighter days. I do believe, though, that although this is going to suck, and although perhaps maybe the season isn't going to go as good as we thought it would go, ultimately I don't think we're getting relegated. It's going to be another season for Prem football. I think we are going to pull out one or two decent to incredible results again like last season. And you know what, I am going to try and stay on the positive aspect of this. I do think it's going to be a good season. I do think there's going to be improvement.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we are Aston Villa. We're not Jack Grealish FC. So simply put, from me, Jack, you've been a loyal servant to Villa. I respect you for what you've done, obviously. The gratitude that you've shown towards us, the respect at least you have given us. But simply put, you've lost mine. You've broken my heart in some way. You know what I mean? You've ruined my team. You've ruined a lot of people's teams. You've ruined a lot of people, from the youngsters to the older fans that have never seen a player this good in probably 15 to 20 years. And yeah, I'm just ultimately disappointed in you. But we go again.
Yeah.
It's just like it happens in football. It happened with Delph. It happened, although Petrov did retire because of his cancer. It happened with Petrov. It happened with Young. It happened with Barry. It happened with Milner. It happened with Benteke. It happened with Delph. It sucks, but we do get over it, and eventually we do improve.
Just picking up on that, when you talk about club legends, as Ben has just said, there is a lot of players still with us.
Yeah, that's my issue. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm going back to that club legend idea. Who really has been a club legend in these past few years? I do believe Petrov,
right?
Considering he didn't really end his career in the way he would have liked to, but he still played on like a hero. I can't say Bong Lahore because he really didn't do anything, and for the last few years of his career was just quite frankly shit. Benteke could have been, if anything, you can make an argument that he did a bit more than Jack Grealish did in his time. You know what I mean? But as I said, let's go back 15, 20 years. Juan Pablo Angel, Lee Hendry, Stan Collymore. You know, if we have to go further back, Peter With, Tony Daly, Paul McGrath. You know what I mean? We haven't had a club legend like this, and I've always said this a load of times. Villa is never, and I think a lot in club football these days, you don't really get club legends anymore. And with Jack Grealish, had he have stayed, he could have cemented that legacy, even if it was an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup. You know, he would have gone down the legend. He would have had, you know what I mean, possibly a career worth remembering. And that's what really annoys me, the lack of club legends in modern football today.
So just what I was about to say, I was just thinking about who that we've got now can turn into one. And I know I'll probably get a lot of stick for this, but I think in years to come, obviously, he's still like 18 years old. Louis Barry.
Yes.
Can you see it in him already?
Yeah, I think that's another good point there. Obviously, the academy, there's a lot to come through, and I think that's something that we've really got to be positive about. Obviously, Louis Barry, I agree with you, actually. Yep. You know what I mean? I think it takes a lot of balls to score against Liverpool. And I know we weren't very similar, but to do it, I think he's already... To me, as soon as he scored, he should have been the first team. Chuck Wemker, if he does end up staying, I think there's a real exciting prospect with him, possibly the most exciting talent that we've got. Philogene Badence, Brad Young, Jacob and Aaron Ramsey. A lot of youngsters coming through. Brad Young, as I said.
Kane Kessler.
Kane Kessler's gone.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
In terms of what we have now, because I was actually saying this through... Sorry about that. When Nathan right beforehand, who have we really got that could be a club legend? McGinn obviously could be. I really do think I can't really see him. No project and stuff for futures. I can't really see him going elsewhere, and I think he actually loves the club. For $2 million, he's definitely leaving. I know Mings can be one. You you know what I mean, there's a lot of players here that can be club legends, but it's, as I said, just stick with your heart, just listen to your fans, you know what I mean, and show what football means to you, that it doesn't have to be about an oil club, that it can be about playing for your boyhood club or playing for your favourite club and sticking with them forever, because, you know what I mean, people look up to you more as a club legend than for what you win, you know what I mean. I know fucking Nemanja Matic wasn't really a highly regarded player at Chelsea or Man United, but he's still a very big player to them. Yeah. N'Golo Kante is going to go down as one of the best in football, considering how well he's done. You know, so it's just one of those where Villa can come back from this. Villa can make these legends. It's just all up to them to stop following it for the money and start actually showing a bit of ambition, a bit of pride.
So there you have it.
Before we do end, actually, I'd like to ask you what you think of this. Because I know it's probably obvious Nathan's on the side of that this isn't happening. I've been trying to reassure him all day that it is happening. Let's say then, when Villa do announce it, if Villa were to announce this to happen, how do you feel just overall?
Do you know, I feel, of what you just said, I'll feel really disappointed. I'll be thinking, is he really a true Villa fan? But obviously he's a Villa fan. But it's true, but still, there'll be things I'll be thinking about. It's like, we're offering him the same amount of money, 200,000, what was it, a month?
200k a week.
A week. What City have offered him. The only thing that you'd get with them and not with us is the trophies, but I think it's that bit better when you're winning it for a club you love. With City, you just go into a club, it's just built up of amazing players like Kevin De Bruyne. And just saying that, I wanted to say, if he does get into that team, I can't really see him starting. You'll definitely not be able to be the captain again. That's
another thing that annoys me about this move. It's a player that's definitely going to get benched.
Yeah.
More than not. You know what I mean? That Newcastle game, I know it's a bit of a meme, but I think there's a lot of truth in it. He doesn't want to be benched. You know what I mean? His whole England campaign this year, will pretty much go down. There's nothing, he didn't do anything. He's a player that doesn't want to get benched, but he is going to get benched. It's a player that's going to easily get rotated. And it's that idea that you haven't really earned it. You simply bought your way into the league. You'll play about... And it's a great point that someone else brought up. He was injured for nearly 25% to 50% of our season.
He hasn't actually played a full season yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's done this every time. And that's why this move, I think, is another good deal in the sense that he is injury prone.
Yeah.
And so to do that, I think it just shows how much Man City are willing to pay over the odds for. You know what I mean? I know a bit delusional Jack Grealish is going to be if he really does think this is what is better for him. You know, when you get injured this much, you know what I mean? It's an absolute nightmare situation, I know. But I'm speaking here for Nathan, I'm speaking here for myself again. I'll say once again, we're Aston Villa Football Club and not Jack Grealish FC. We will come again. It is going to suck for these next few days. Obviously, as I said, Nathan and I will be at the Sevilla game. So it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what the crowd is going to be like there. And then obviously 10 days away from our opening game at Watford. But we do just want to say a massive thank you to all of you lots who obviously continue to watch us, who have subscribed to us. You know, this has gone a little bit farther than we thought.
Yeah.
And hopefully now it's going to get bigger and better. And honestly, we can't wait to keep going bigger and bigger. But that's pretty much been our reaction to Jack Grealish joining Manchester City, or as it says, is joining Manchester City. Obviously, please leave a like and subscribe. Tell us in the comments down below what you thought on our social pages there. We've been interacting a little bit more, trying to get a bit more prominence.
Yeah.
So do interact with us there. And also, I would like to give a shout out to the Villa Spaces on Twitter, done by Typer AC. I believe Villa Analytics, joined by nearly over 3,000 people the past few days, getting nearly as high as third place on trending on Twitter. It's a really nice movement to be a part of, and if you really want to be involved with a Villa fan page, go and check out on Twitter there. But that's been pretty much the video. He's been Nathan, I've been Ben. Nice knowing you, Jack, simply put. Last words?
Yeah, I just wanted to say as well, I am featuring on Ryan LFC's channel, so please go and look at that. I only went on to talk about a new signing, Leon Bailey. I just want to keep the positivity. I know it's gonna be shit if the news actually does come out, but it's just as you said, the channel is definitely on the up. When we are going to the game, I do want to like get some fan reactions and that. So if there are any fans there who want a reaction on the channel, just come
give
up to
us a message on Instagram, or we will leave it on the comment down below.
I mean,
but simply put, yeah, keep the positivity. Nice knowing you, Jack. While we move on at the Villa with a pride of Villa. We'll see you later, boys.